I think I stand for a lot of people when I say this year was weird. It's a weird year. 2023 was a weird year. And we're just gonna jump right into 2024 with more weirdness. Let's just make it weird. Let's just lean into it, guys. And to lean into that strangeness, the surreal, the uncanny, we're going to be talking about using a flash in a landscape almost portrait type of context. My name is Pontus Perino. Welcome to Jeruge Productions. I'm a photographer out of Los Angeles, focusing on everything from light painting, cosplay, light photography, astro, you name it. And in today's video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why you should be using a flash in an astrophotography context. Number 1, avoiding using high ISO. When you utilize a flash in a landscape astro context, you no longer have to rely on your camera's native ISO by cranking it all the way up to whatever it is, whether it's 51,200 or 100,400. All you have to do is pull out your flash, make sure the power is set to the right ambient light setting, and you now have a sharp photo of your subject. And this will do 2 things for your photo. So obviously your subject will be in focus. You will avoid any graininess from your camera's sensor, basically trying to get as much light as possible. And then of course you'll get the right exposure for your subject so that they'll be correctly exposed for the shot. Reason number 2, avoiding motion blur in your shots. So if any of you have ever done a long exposure shot, you are probably familiar with the fact that you basically have to stand very still or as still as possible to avoid any motion blur that will happen in your photos, because obviously as the camera is going for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it'll pick up a lot of minute details with the way your subject is moving around, especially the closer you are to your camera. Having a flash helps out with basically freezing any motion that would happen in your shot as you're taking it. So by utilizing a flash, you don't have to deal about any ghosting, going show up in your image, and you can basically have a very crisp photo of your subject. Reason number 3, and I would say the most important reason, and the reason that kind of turns a lot of people off or even scares a lot of people, is modularity. Now, having a flash or any sort of artificial lighting definitely helps a lot with modularity. You're not so much dealing with the natural light or the minute light that the camera is picking up. You now have a lot of modularity in the fact that you can basically take the camera, have it off camera, utilize it in a way so that you can get a lot of drama from the shadows and the light cascading onto your subject. You can even make it more modular by having 2 flashes at the same time. That way you can add more shadows and more drama to the photo as well too. You can also use different types of light modifiers like myself, using an umbrella or an orb attachment to basically add more drama to a photo, more emotion, more kind of pizzazz, you could say, to a photo. And of course, if you want to get even more creative with it as well too, you can even use color filters, adding onto your flash and using that to kind of add a little bit more, like I said, drama. So I myself use a lot of Godox stuff. I would say that's a pretty good place to start at. If you're trying to learn more about using flash, check out the Strobist. That's where you learn basically how to use a lot of flash and get kind of orientated with using off-camera flash and different types of lighting setups to do with your camera work. And the fun thing about having a flash as well too, it's lightweight. It's not like a lot of these strobes that you have to plug in. It's basically just you bring out with you to the field. You can basically attach it to a stand if you have that stand, or just prop it onto a rock. Have your transmitter talking to it and your camera in order to make sure you can get the shots you want to get. You can basically use it if you're in a lot of contexts in a landscape astro. So if it's the new moon, for example, you can go out there, get star trails, get the Milky Way shot, stitch that later on with the foreground shot that you get of yourself or your subject with a flash, and you have a really cool kind of foreground with the stars and the heavens above you. It's a full moon night, that's even worse, even better, because now you can use the moon as a backlight for yourself in a lot of your photos, and kind of add a little bit more drama to the scene that you see, in a landscape behind and around the subject. So yeah, basically if you're trying to mix it up with your landscape astro shots, maybe you want to get a few portraits of yourself and you don't know where to start, maybe start with just a simple flash. Get that, prop it up on a rock, you get like a transmitter, and then just set it off and just play around with different compositions with yourself. Maybe try to get star trails, Milky Way shots with it. See what you can do. The world of flash is pretty cool. It can be daunting at first, but the more you get accustomed to having that artificial lighting source and having it, being able to use it in a lot of your shots, I think you'll be very satisfied with the results that you get. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to subscribe, like, comment. It helps out with getting it onto the algorithm. Check out my socials as well too. Instagram. Got a lot of things planned out for the 2024 year, so if you're just joining the channel, good to have you aboard. If you've been here since day one, then thank you for checking out this video as well too. With that, I'll leave you guys to it. Peace.